Welcome to the Adaptive Outdoorsman Podcast. It is brought to you by Action Trackchair, proud sponsor and champion of outdoor accessibility. Action Trackchair is committed to empowering individuals with mobility challenges to explore the great outdoors with freedom and independence. Whether it's hunting in rugged terrain, casting a line by the water, or hitting the trails for a hike, the Action Trackchair is the ultimate all-terrain wheelchair that empowers you to get outside. Custom build your Trackchair today at actiontrackchair.com. Action Trackchair, unlock adventure. I would like to introduce our guest, combat wounded veteran, podcaster, author, motivational speaker, and outdoorsman, Jack Zimmerman. Welcome to the show, man.
John, how are you doing today?
Battling a cold, the usual stuff.
It's that time of year.
Blowing a vessel out of my face, making it look like somebody just hit me in the face. And like, your wife do that? No, she'd hurt herself if she tried something like that. And then I'd be blamed for that. No, the only person that can kick my own butt's myself. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing that all night. So, luckily I have a mute button, so somebody can't be hearing me do that 90% of the time. So, how's your day going?
Good. Getting excited. Fall's here. Ready to get the hunt on, and just feels like it's the build-up. I don't know when this is gonna air, but it's here.
Yeah, mid-September, from what I believe. My math could be off a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just looking up because I literally did a three-peat episodes, three days in a row. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday, and it's holy cow. So the episode 150 will air as of this recording on the 4th, so it'd be airing by this time.
Yeah.
And that was with previous guest TJ Cartwright, blind hunter, got shot in the face with an arrow.
Wow.
While hunting, and survived. And in his words, the only way, the reason why he became blind was when he was induced in a coma. They did the surgery, a blood clot formed on his optic nerve. Dude still bags some monsters.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, good for him to continue on,
Yeah. So, this is a lovely one. I'm just looking at the numbers right now. The week before October.
Ooh, yeah. So we'll be in full swing of things, and and as this airs, I'll be in British Columbia chasing a moose.
I'm jealous.
No, I'm excited. It's been a long time. I mean, just the idea of going up there and chasing around up there would be a first time for me. Never really hunted in the Northwest up there before, so excited.
Yeah, I'm still stuck in the Midwest, so I'm going to live vicariously through you.
Yeah, and I'm kicking off my season. As we're talking here, it'll be September 1st. It'll be a bear season opener for me in Minnesota here. So I drew a bear tag. So I go up there and kick off my season up there on the first week of September, and they got some speaking events and stuff like that scattered in after that first week, and I'm hopefully going to try to get down to Texas, shoot some does before I head to British Columbia.
Seriously, I don't have bear in my state, and it's probably a little too late to do for the draw because I have yet to get my tags this year. Small child takes precedence in terms of bills.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's for sure. I mean, having kids definitely makes things a lot more difficult, to chase and pursue. And I think a lot of times you just have to be more intentional on your hunting, when you have young kids.
Yeah, I think it's going to be because squirrel season opened up in just mid-August. So I'm going to take the boy. He's going to follow me and watch me. We got a pellet gun. We're going to go use some private land and just eradicate some pests.
Yeah.
And then make squirrel tacos.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's just some good eating right there.
Yep. That way, because he's 11 years old, he's taking an interest in what I'm wanting to do here, and he's getting athletics. Got cross country this year, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. No, it's I got a pretty good season lined up, and October. I'll get back mid-October then from British Columbia. I have some more speaking events scattered in there, and then I head off to Southwest Colorado, chase some mule deer down there. And November, I'll come back here to Minnesota and take my son deer hunting around here and that. And before you know it, December then, early December, I'm going to go hunt coastal black bear in North Carolina. And then I'll head to Texas for most of the month of January. And, to Texas, it's shooting doves, hogs, deer, you name it down there. And I wrap up by going to SCI then in the early or mid-February, late February now is when SCI is going to be this year, and I'll release my third book there.
Nice. I have yet to try. I have been trying to get SCI on the podcast for about a month and a half now, and their phone lines are just trying to get hold of somebody's fun.
Yeah, I'm see what I can do. Maybe I can help you out.
I appreciate that greatly, but yeah, I was seeing some of that stuff, and I'd love to go to some of that. Luckily, I get vacation time in January.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it's been every January. This year, I think it ends up being in February, and it's kind of cool. They did it the week after National Wild Turkey Federation show down there, which, if you haven't been to the NWTF in Nashville, it is one of the best shows you can go to. I don't know about you, but love turkey hunting.
I've had bad experience with turkey hunts. They've heard the story a lot about it. Broke my foot turkey hunting one year.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Well, you got bad feet, and they are easy. They break sometimes.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't have to worry about anymore, not having any feet anymore. But I can we can get to that story if you want to.
Yeah, we can get to that. I'm enjoying this one, talking about the pain that I get to do that you don't have to endure anymore. You're like, sucks.
Hey, you can always cut them off.
Oh, no. Nope, that way I can hold it low on all over you guys and say, ha, 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 I still in pain.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right. It's like, take your lickings and just gloat about it. Like, I may not be able to move my feet, but I'll still waddle with you.
Yeah, I say hang on to them as long as you can.
Yeah. I'm just like, I've already had triple arthrodesis fusions. I talked to a doctor one time, and I asked him, what would you be able to do to take away the pain? They said, fuse my foot to my leg.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much of a...
I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll take the stress fractures and the pain and everything and deal with it.
Yeah.
Been dealing with it since when I had, with the day I was born. I've been obviously born. I guess
that's all you know, right?
Yep. Pain is all I know. Embrace the suck. That should be one of my mottos. I talked to a buddy of mine a while back, and it's like one of the biggest words that he liked to describe me as, and a lot of people actually do this nowadays, is persevering.
Yeah.
Like you feel that suck coming on, but you're like, nope, I'm just going to continue on being this. On. Yep. It's like, nope, we're just going to keep moving. It sucks. We're feeling sucky. And life is just hitting you with everything it's got. Sad, sad face. And we're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah. I always think it could be worse,
Yep.
After you've been to places like Afghanistan and things like that, and you see how those people live, you're like, my worst day here is still would be their best day there,
Yeah. I mean, could be worse. You could be a Raiders fan right now.
Oh, I was going to say a Packers fan.
Are you a Packers fan?
Oh, no, I'm from Minnesota. No, absolutely not.
Are you a Viking fan?
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
be a good year.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. We can see each other, so you can see the Colts hat in the background with the deer.
Right,
so, no, I'm not an Indiana Hoosier fan at all.
It's been a minute since Peyton Manning's been around.
I know. That's when I got into football.
I guess Andrew Luck gave you a few good years there, but he was always hurt.
I know. It's because they couldn't keep the offensive line. And then,
Murdered.
yep, then they got in with, what was the last one? The one that they fired before Steinbach came in. They only lasted one season with Carolina Panthers after that.
Yeah. Been some tough years there.
Yeah, I think we still have a few more tough years ahead of us.
That's glad that you. Our outlook is bright if we can get J.J. McCarthy here throwing the ball and get
Yeah,
this offense thrown along. But a lot of weapons, just like I said, as long as we have somebody that can hold the line a little bit up front and give us a chance.
yeah. God, I want to say what's the worst team in the league right now, but I'm going to go with the Browns.
Ooh, I was going to say Jacksonville.
I don't know about that. But I know we've gotten off on the tangent of football. We should be talking about hunting or military service or how things go boom. I actually had on a recently Valor Archery Challenge founder, and he's gonna pop me one for this, and he'll probably forgive me because I sleep a lot, and it's good lord, and I got a small child in the background screaming bloody murder right now too. So even better. But yeah. Anyways, he and I were previous episode. We were talking about. Good lord, I think I actually have it up right here in my thing. It's gonna bug me till I get it right, and that's what I'm just gonna go through in me. Oh, good lord. Sam Westfall, dear good lord, why could I not think about that? But when he and I were talking about the Abrams for a long while,
Oh, yeah.
and how everything was going boom boom.
Yeah, they did a lot of Overwatch for on Highway 1, is what I remember them in Afghanistan doing. But yeah, they're definitely a very versatile tool and can be used in many different ways on the battlefield.
Yeah, the Abrams was definitely one of my favorite toys to watch. It's definitely, like you were saying, got the utility behind it. You can set it up, run, and when he told me that those dang things, when they're firing the live rounds, picks up the first two sets of wheels, holy cow!
Yeah, that's a pretty big charge going off there.
Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near that cannon when that thing's going full bore.
I don't want to be in there either. That's why I was glad to be light infantry.
Did you operate any of the big stuff artillery-wise, or would you just?
No, I was on the ground. I was just a ground guy, you know. When I joined, I said I want to be on the front lines and I want to get there as fast as I can. And when I thought about like serving my country, I thought about being out there on the front lines fighting the enemy, and
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do, and that's how I wanted to serve my country, and so that's what I ended up doing. My whole thing was I wanted to learn how to jump out of planes, and when anybody asks what is light infantry means, it means you take everything that would be in a truck and you put it on your back and you walk.
Yep. So about 90 pounds on your back, and you march all the way to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and just fight along the way.
Yep.
And so my journey started in September of 2009. I went down to Fort Benning, Georgia, and did my basic training in infantry school down there, and met some of my best friends to this day down there, and had a really good time. And I was really happy to be in the military. I was an athlete growing up, playing sports and being a part of a team. And it was so fun to be a part of a team again and working on being better at something every single day and pushing yourself. And the Army gave me all the opportunity in the world to be able to do those kinds of things. I enjoyed every minute of it. And by the end of 2009, then I graduated from infantry school and came home for Christmas back to Minnesota here. And I headed right back down after Christmas to Fort Benning, and I did jump school down there. And I always say jump school is pretty fun. One of the funnest times of my life. The first week, you practice landing. You're jumping off a log. You're doing all those things and practice falling on the ground. Doing your parachute landing falls. And the second week, you practice getting out of the plane and And then the third week you actually jump. They always say if you can land and you can get out of the plane, you'll figure out everything in between. So
Yeah.
I did my 5 jumps, I'm a 5 jump chump, and got my wings. And before you know it, I got orders to join the 101st Airborne Division, and got there at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And the only reason they call it Kentucky is because the post office is in Kentucky. Otherwise, 90% of the base is in Tennessee. And it's about 45 minutes north of Nashville, and it's such a beautiful place in the country. And one side of the post, it's the flat farm fields that you think of like in Kentucky, and on the other side, it's the rolling hills and hollers like you think of when you think of Tennessee. And such a cool place and beautiful and a fun town to be around. And I got there and got to spend a little time hanging out there and fell in love with the place. And before you know it, by June, then I was off to Afghanistan, deploying with the 101st Airborne Division to Kandahar Province in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So, did you go to the forward operating base from there?
Yeah, so we landed in Afghanistan and we climatized at Kandahar Airfield for about 2 weeks. It's when you get there, it's kind of like you have to get used to what it's the elevation mainly, and just getting acclimated. You feel like you're out of shape as soon as you get there, just because there's not enough oxygen. You're just not used to it, and before you know it, you're feeling pretty good, and they put you on a chopper and you head out to your area of operations. And for us, there have never been any Americans in this AO, the Zari district of this place, and we were the first Americans to ever go in there, and it was a gunfight through and through. We gun fought day in and day out. And in October, then I experienced my worst day in Afghanistan. My best friend was killed. He stepped on an IED over there, and the only reason we were out there that day was to get him home to meet his daughter. And she was only 2 weeks old, and just my worst day in Afghanistan. And the reason I always say that is to put it in perspective of everything that I went through. Just might have been bad day, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kept fighting then, and I would say like November timeframe, the fighting kind of started to taper off, and by December it was pretty slow. And then New Year's Day kicked off again, and we were fighting day in and day out. And pretty soon it was like the early February, and I got to come home on my 2 weeks of leave, back on R&R. And I turned 21 over in Afghanistan, so when I got home, I always joke I really don't remember much of the first week, but the second week I really enjoyed my time here. And before you know it, I was headed back to Afghanistan, and I was only back for a couple of days, and I was up in the guard tower. And I remember coming out of the guard tower and walking back to my tent, and I remember throwing all my gear down, and we were hanging out for a while. Went up to the whiteboard, seeing that I was going on patrol that morning, and went and laid down. And before you know it, my team leader comes by and he hits me and says, "Hey, we're getting ready to go on patrol. Come out. We're going to do a briefing." Get the briefing, and the whole idea was they're going to move to the top of this village. We thought there was an enemy cache at the top of the village, and we're going to go up there and steal it from the Taliban. And yeah, it's but they're not going to give it up. They're just not going to let you walk up and take it, So we pushed out there, and I was on the right flank all by myself, and I was carrying a machine gun. I was a saw gunner, and we started working our way up there. There's a whole other team behind us. There's a gun team in between us, and a bunch of support elements, like radio guy, lieutenant, medic, all those kinds of guys, and we started pushing our way up there. And as we got closer and closer, there's a big berm on the north end of town as we were getting close to the cache. And I walked up on the berm, and I seen two guys running into town, and I was like, "Hey, those are the guys we're looking for." And just nobody's running over there for any reason other than they're up to no good, And I remember I looked down and I seen us standing right on top of an IED, and I was like, I gotta get off this IED. So I ran all the way down to the end of the berm, and my team leader went up and he put a charge on the IED and he blew it up. And as soon as he blew it up, they started shooting at us. I think we were shooting at them, and gunfight broke out. And we were gunfighting for a while, and before you know it, the Kiowa helicopters came flying in and started throwing Hellfire missiles in all the buildings. And we were hanging out for a little while, and we started heading back to our base then, and we did reverse ordered movements, and I was in the back, and we started jumping across the ditch, and I'm the last one to jump across, and I'm pulling security for everybody. And I start heading back out on the right flank, and my team leader's like, "Hey, I want you on the left flank. That's the side we're probably going to get attacked from. That's the side the village was on if we did get attacked, you know." So I switched to the other side of the formation, and I kind of get into position, and we're walking across this wide open plowed field, and our interpreter says he's getting ICOM chatter, meaning he can hear the enemy talking on their radio, saying they're getting ready to attack us again. And I said, "Hey, Sergeant Hurley, where do you think they're going to hit us from?" He says, "I don't know, Jackie boy." I don't wham, and I stepped right on top of that IED out in the middle of the field, and I remember myself go flipping through the air and the heat crawling up my back, and felt like 10,000 little pricklies, running up my back. And I finally hit the ground, and I had the wind knocked out of me once on the way up and once on the way down when I hit the ground again. And I was looking at my left arm all blown out, and I could see how bad it was bleeding. I needed a tourniquet for it. And I was trying to reach back to my first aid kit, but my shoulder was broken, my forearm was broken on my left side. I just couldn't move it. So I knew I had another tourniquet in my night vision pouch, and I had to get a tourniquet on my left arm. And I was trying to get that pouch open, and I was like, "What in the heck is going on?" And I looked over, and my whole arm was snapped in half on the right side, and every time my heart beat, it was spraying blood out of my forearm. And I realized I didn't have any hands, and I had no idea my legs were even hurt yet.
Yeah.
And about this time, my buddy Daniels, he came sliding in on top of me, and he jumped on top of me, and he started tourniqueting my arms off. And the whole time he was doing that, I was like, "Hey, man, you got to get off my boys. You're pinching my stuff." And what he's doing is he has knees in my femoral arteries, trying to pinch those off. Well, he was tourniqueting my arms, and he's working on me. And about that time, Doc slid in, and Doc started going to work on me. And when he cut my gear off of me, that's when I sat up to try to get out of there. That's when I seen how bad a shape I was in. My right leg was completely tore off. My left leg from the knee down was just about gone, and I was hurting pretty bad. And about that, the whole time we're getting shot at, and we're eating rounds out there, and luckily nobody was hit, and they're putting tourniquets on all my limbs, and Doc's getting a ratchet strap around my right leg, and I started getting more and more tired and more thirsty, and I shaking my head left, right, just trying to do a conscious effort to stay alive. And finally, I just, kind of said, I'm not going to make it, and I kind of told my guys, it's everybody back home. I love them. And I started seeing my whole life start flashing before my eyes, up as little as, 4 or 5 years old. And next thing you know, I hear the rotors popping on that helicopter, and I'm like, man, I can't die right before that thing gets here. They picked me up, and they hauled me to the chopper and threw me in the back of the chopper. And I see my team leader laying back there. He took a big hunk of steel, came flying out of that IED and hit him on the shoulder and the head, and broke his shoulder and gave him a pretty bad concussion. And he was laying back there, and I remember the flight medic jumping on top of me as we took off, and he put a fast one right in my sternum and started feeding me fluids through my sternum. And everybody's like, "This is going to hurt." And I thought, what can you do to me to hurt me, And he punched that right in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so alive. I got so much fight left in me. And we finally landed at the airfield in Kandahar, and when they pulled me out of that helicopter, they put me in the back of this truck. And the surgeon in the back of that truck told me if I could stay awake for 5 more minutes, he promised me my life. And I was like, bet, I'll take that.
Yep.
And next thing you know, I'm on the operating room table, and they're prepping me for surgery. And this anesthesiologist is trying to knock me out, and I'm fighting him. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I got a bet with a guy." And he came over, and he told me my 5 minutes was up. And next thing you know, I wake up in San Antonio 6 days later, my whole family standing around me, confused, thinking they're in Afghanistan,
They're like, how'd you get here?
I was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm sure how bad it is, And before you know it, I'm first words out of my mouth were, "What do I got to do to get out of here?" I didn't want to be in the hospital.
Yep.
And I spent 2 weeks out in the ICU, and I endured 20 operations while I was in there, and I spent about 2 months total in the hospital. And it was a grind, Nothing in my life was the same when I woke up. All 4 of my limbs have been ripped off. They were able to attach my right arm pretty good. I don't really have much function in my right hand. I lost my thumb and my index finger on my right hand. And but I still have my arm, my hand is still there, And it helps. And they put together my left arm back pretty good. And super lucky and fortunate over there. And my right leg, it's real short. They got about 6 or 8 inches of femur left, and my left knee is just a couple inches up from where my left leg is amputated right above my knee, a couple inches up from where it used to be. And every time I share that story, it's really just it's about the guys that drugged me off the battlefield that day. They're the true heroes that day that stepped up and risked their lives to save mine. And I was really at that point in my life, I really finally figured out what it meant to feel like I was helpless. I really couldn't do anything for myself at that point in time. Even save my own life. And if those guys want to risk their lives to save mine, I wouldn't be here today. And for those guys to see me as like a life worth saving, that means the world to me. And pretty lucky guy,
Yeah, to have that just thoughtlessness of, okay, I'm going to save this guy's life. I'm going to keep
love
him
for your
there.
brother. Yeah.
I mean, I played football in high school. I tried, key term, getting in the military when I was younger. They wouldn't let me in, obviously.
Right.
But I've got brothers of my own. I've got friends, seeing something like that, you just try and do whatever. I mean, I've been there with my wife when she's been giving birth, so I've been there for those extremes. Not near yours. I'm not comparing mine to yours. Trust me on that.
No. I know what you mean.
But yeah, being there and understanding that, yeah, you're there to ensure he stays alive.
Yeah.
I know you would think, okay, instinct's kicking in. It's time to do this.
Yeah. I mean, we have to fight. Basically, in battle, I mean, you're fighting every instinct you have. I mean, you hear guns going off and you run towards them. You see bad people. Most of the time, people go the other way. We go towards it, and that's not instinct. That's something you train for, and you have to want to do.
What was it? I think I read it in 2012, and it's been read multiple times since then. But a French soldier's love letter to the American soldier. Basically, if we're pinned down, they're the first ones coming to us.
Yeah.
They don't ask about the situation. They say, "Hold tight, we're on our way."
Yeah. If you read the combat medics creed too, it gets me pretty choked up. But in there it says, "You'll cry for me before you cry for your mother."
Yeah. Well, knowing them, yeah, dude. I mean,
you're gonna cry for the medic before you cry for your mother. On the battlefield.
Yeah. Especially when you're wounded, you're like, "Come here, please, help me."
Yeah, Doc, I need you now.
Yeah. What was it? I think it was a fat electrician. He was talking about like this was in the early days when he started just posting it. I think it was YouTube and whatnot is when I caught on to him. But he was talking about medic, Sarge, and one other, where basically 2 or 3 of those guys were, if they get popped, everybody around them's having a bad day.
Yeah. I mean, it's war's an awful place. It's hard to imagine, going through everything that we went through when I was just a kid, But to go through all that and experience all that, and waking up in the hospital though, it's I could have made one or two choices. It could have been poor me or what can stop me now, and that's what I choose every day when I get up. Every day when I get up, the first thing I gotta do is crawl into that wheelchair. It's a reminder of all the hell that I've been through, but it's kind of like with all the hell that I've been through, what can stop me today,
Yep. It's okay. I'm going to be feeling this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it's that mental preparation. That one I definitely have. I can, associate with, because I have to get out of bed and stand up every freaking day on the same pain.
Yeah.
And it's every single step. Again,
yeah.
Different pain, different process, but I can definitely feel the same thought process, though. It goes in the same way.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yep. I get nothing but respect for military guys, dude. And I've been telling this story for a while on the podcast, but I learned through my mother, because she did genealogy. I got family members that served in the American Revolution and Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I just wanted to go say suck it with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild to figure out, where we came from and, the reason why maybe we do the things that we do or,
hmm
believe the things that we do or fight for
It's
the
a,
things that we do.
it's in our blood.
Yeah, exactly, and after I got out of the hospital, then I started rehabbing and I started getting back in the outdoors. One of the first things I asked when I woke up was, how am I ever going to hunt again, And a few weeks out of the hospital, then I was able to get back out there hunting, and I shot a Corsican ram right away, and I was like, yes, I'm back, I'm good to go. And it just kept snowballing from there. Next thing you know, it was an elk hunt out in Sheridan, Wyoming, and it just kept going bigger and bigger and bigger, and like even till this last year, shooting a stag in New Zealand and shooting 10 different animals in Africa. It's it just kind of just been snowballing ever since the day that I was wounded.
Okay, I want to go live vicariously through all these stories right now.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's kind of been the place, whether I'm sitting in the duck blind with four of my buddies, venting about life, or
hmm
I'm sitting alone in a deer stand in Texas, the outdoors and nature provides something different to everybody, but it's definitely, I believe, is one of the places where it's best to do your healing. You can be alone with your thoughts and you have the perfect distractions. And
Yeah.
same thing with not being alone with your thoughts, but being with your buddies and sharing, all your struggles in life with them. Because if you can't share your struggles in life with the guys you're with out in the blind, then who can you share them with?
That's my big problem is I don't go duck hunting enough with people to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm always alone with my thoughts, and that's not a good thing some days.
Yeah.
But luckily, my son's turning 11. He's starting to get into hunting and whatnot. So
Yeah. It's a
get the
fun.
to be able to have him just sit out there with me and be like, okay, we're just waiting for a deer. We're waiting for this.
Yeah. Trying to keep him patient sometimes can be definitely a challenge. But it's kind of the thing too, is like, someday he'll remember you taking him out, and so hopefully someday now when you're an old man, he'll be taking you out for one more hunt, and return the
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah. We've been trying to get him out to the hunt and whatnot, and there was a phase where he was like, "Oh, I don't want to eat deer meat, whatnot." Sad thing. But he's been there because I started hunting when he was 1, and it's been 10 years now. He's been there for every harvest and seen that buck or doe every time,
That's awesome.
and super excited about it every time.
That's so cool. That getting kids exposed to that stuff early is good, I think, and it gives them an opportunity to understand where their dinner comes from and the cycle of life and
Yeah.
just understanding of the real concept of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you look on, and I'm still trying to figure out why Instagram keeps on posting about, not posting, but the algorithm when you are searching through it says, "Hey, you're in a hunting podcast page. Have a vegan page to look at." And they're talking about, all that stuff with veganism, and I'm like, I'm not knocking veganism, but you're only 3% of the U.S. population. And the only reason why veganism exists as a whole is modernity. So, no, go away.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own beliefs and their own ways of life or whatever, but venison tastes good.
hmm
Ducks taste good, doves taste good, pheasants taste good. Turkeys taste good. So I believe that I'm supposed to be harvesting those things, and God put those things here for me to eat. And
Yep.
I love going out and doing it the most ethical way that I can, and hunting the huntable surplus, and trying to do it the best way that I can every time. And I'm just thankful for the opportunities that the outdoors has given me and a place to heal, and super lucky guy.
Yeah. So, what got you into motivational speaking?
Yeah, so I mean, really, I just going out and sharing my story and having people help put me into that story, help put that together for me and teach me how to tell my story. And every time I share my story, it's kind of a reminder that I didn't do anything wrong that day. I would have done it all over again the same. And it makes the things a little bit easier to live with sometimes. And thankfully, nobody was hurt the day that I was wounded, and I learned a lot going through that. And I sacrificed a lot going through that. And I thought, well, I think I live a really good life now because of the things that I went through, just because of the perspectives of it. And if I can share that with other people, they can share them same perspectives without having to go through what I went through, and you know, make the sacrifice worth it in the end. Benefit somebody else's life for the better.
Yeah. Inspire them to keep persevering, to keep enduring, and
Yeah.
to live life to its fullest.
Yeah, and when I go out there and I share my story, my tagline is, I want you to build your attitude and shape your perspective, so one day when your life does flash before your eyes, it's worth watching. And I see my life flash before my eyes already once, and it was awesome. And what I realized it wasn't things that flashed before my eyes. It was people, it was experiences, and it wasn't sitting on my couch alone watching Netflix. It was out in the woods with my buddies. It was playing baseball with my friends. It was fishing with my family members. It's just those are the memories I want to keep making, and I truly believe that's one of the things we take with us when we leave this place.
Yeah, that's definitely inspirational as ever. I always quote my uncle because he got me out of a stupor one time where I was unemployed, trying to collect unemployment insurance, recently fired and all that. And everybody saw I was just being lazy. And he don't remember the conversation one bit. And I told him about this. He said to me, "You don't stand still, you'll fall over, and
Yeah,
life will pass you by. If life is getting hard, drop your shoulder and just keep on moving."
drive into it. Yeah.
And that's pretty well been one of the many quotes that I do in my life, pretty much. It's, okay, life sucks. You are having one of the worst times ever right now. Keep moving forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's that's kind of one of the things I talk about in my first book is just keep moving. If you quit moving, that's when the Taliban sets up on you. And it's the same thing in life. If you don't keep moving, the life's going to set up on you and ambush you. So keep moving, where you want to go, and keep doing things that are moving you closer to where you want to be. And if you feel like you're not making any progress, then do something different. Quit doing the same thing over and over again if it's not working.
Well, apparently I've decided to embrace the just keep doing the same thing in terms of, like with social media. That thing is a nightmare and a half. They keep changing everything all the time on
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, now they're just sending conflicting messages left and right. I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. I've been seeing slow but surely continuous growth. We'll go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's working, it's working. Keep doing what's working for you. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing for everybody. It's my message, my second book really is, kind of, hunting ended up being my thing, and that's where I pursue and push myself and made all my biggest gains, I believe, personally, but for somebody else, it might be something else. But the thing is finding your thing and focusing on it and putting energy into it and creating the best version of yourself along the way.
Yeah. I know, having a son and a daughter now, it's definitely one of those. I want to be able to showcase to them what being an entrepreneur is, what being a strong male role model is,
Yeah.
and what is right from wrong, how to control yourself, what to look forward into for a future partner, like for my daughter. Granted, that's about 20 some years away, so I don't have to worry about that too much.
Got some
But
time yet. But
yep,
yeah, I mean, you want to instill those values as early as you can,
yeah, and I want my son to aspire to be something that I didn't see till I was much older.
Yeah.
Granted, my parents got divorced, and then, I had my stepdad and my dad, which they both have their flaws, and me being a rebellious little 13, 14-year-old and not knowing how to take this sort of thing, you looked for other inspiration. So I was in comic books.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll never guess my favorite comic book character is
No, who is it?
the Big Blue Boy Scout.
I never heard of it.
Never heard of Superman.
Oh man, now
Never
I have,
heard
I
the
guess.
nickname the Big Blue Boy Scout.
No, honestly, I've never watched any of the Batmans or Supermans or any of that stuff before in my life, even the movies or
Oh,
anything.
I was big into Smallville back in the day because
Yeah,
that was around the time that. So obviously the actor was much older than me, but the character was the same age as me during the entire run. So it was more
sure.
I could relate to that, and
Yeah,
I was, trying to emulate being good, being the hero.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely worse people to look up to for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, now being just turned 40 and then seeing what that thing sort of pertains to is like you see a lot of these people trying to be the hero, but they're not looking at the bigger picture whilst doing that. They're just
yeah,
like, I've got to be the savior. I've got to be the savior. I've got to be the savior. And it's like, be the savior of your world first, not of somebody else's.
yeah. Right. I think that's a big problem today. Everybody seems kind of watch your own bobber. Take care of
Yeah.
your own lane. And I think everybody's so worried thinking everybody else is jacked up, and they looked at their own stuff. They want to see they got some work they can do in their own backyard. I mean, that's for anybody to say.
Yeah. And I wonder why I don't decide to do motivational speaking. Oh, wait, I don't do well in crowds.
I always say I have to do motivational speaking because I always want to be a stand-up comedian, but motivational speaker is as close as I could get.
Oh God! Every time I think about doing like a self-filmed hunt or something or even just self-filming on here, oh my God, dude! It's like being in front of a camera. I'm like, I don't want that. I just want to just do this. I mean, obviously this is recording for us, but it's like, we're just shooting the breeze in terms of having a conversation wise, which
Yeah.
is nice.
No, I'm pretty lucky. I've got to film a bunch of my stuff, and I enjoy it. And I don't know. I hope that my kids could look back and say, "That's pretty cool watching
Yeah.
Dad home here, there, or whatever." Or great grandpa or great great grandpa. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'll be 60 years old when my daughter's 20. So,
Yeah.
well, it could be worse. It could be Phil Labonte. He's going to be 50 years old and have a newborn.
Yeah. I mean, that's taking it on later in life. Taking on challenge.
Yeah, nothing against him. I mean,
I love it.
oh yeah, being a dad is one of the
It makes
greatest
you feel
things in the world.
young.
Oh, no, I'm the yeah. It distracts you from feeling old.
There you go.
Then I've been having that midlife crisis recently where I'm thinking about, and I recently thought about this. My son's in the same elementary school I was as a kid
Yeah.
back in the 90s, early 90s. And so he's in there. And all I was thinking about was I was a kid and there was a lady in the lunch line that was celebrating her 50 years back when I was around his age, and that was over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That lady would be over either 80 or 90 now.
Yeah. It's wild, and yeah, I mean, my son, he's a third generation to go to my school that I'm at, and it's yeah, I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, I know, right? Then you're thinking about crap. When they get older, my parents are going to be really old, and I'll just be older-ish.
Right? Yeah.
See, this is the midlife crisis sort of stuff we're having to deal with now at our ages. Yeah, screw the whole, the war problems and the disabilities and all that fun stuff. It's age that's coming. It's our biggest issue.
Yeah. Well, good news is like your sponsor. You got track chairs out there that can keep everybody out in the woods for a lot longer, and it's thank God for the tools and the accessibility that we do have out there. So
Yeah.
guys like me and everybody else gives them an opportunity to get out there. As you get older, you can find more and more places to hunt and fish, and
Yep.
hopefully it all just becomes more and more accessible as time goes on.
Yeah. So obviously we've been talking about your book, but what made you decide to be an author then? When
Yeah,
did you?
so I've never really been a scholar ever my entire life, but all of a sudden COVID hit, and it was 2 weeks of no speaking or doing anything like that. And then it was 2 months, and then it's like, well, I guess we might as well write this book while we're sitting here, and that's kind of why I wrote the first book. And through that whole process, I really enjoyed it and fell in love with the process. And I was like, well, I feel like writing some more. So that's when I decided to write the second one. And then after my trip to Africa last year, I was like, all right, just from my notes in Africa on the way home, it's such a long flight, I started organizing my notes, and I was like, I think I got another book here. So I wrote an entire book now on my trip to Africa last year, and we're starting the editing process for that now. We're just in the middle of it, and we'll have this book turned out by February.
Nice. Yeah, I've always got an idea either writing an article or something else and literally, talking about the modern adaptive outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Like with a working title of The Rise of the Modern Adaptive Outdoorsman.
Yeah.
How, modern equipment has helped people with disabilities get back into the woods like like ever before.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're lucky to have the technology that we do, and it's just going to keep getting better and better, and people with more and more injuries are going to be able to live longer, and the quality of life for everybody's going to keep continuing to go up.
Yeah. So obviously you're familiar with the Trackchair. You're familiar
Yeah.
with Be Adaptive equipment.
No, what's that?
So Be Adaptive equipment they're the largest adaptive shooting implements in America or in the world, and there's a small company still, but they produce this seat plate and a rifle or crossbow holder for a person with disabilities. So they sit down on it in the chair or whatnot. The rifle is mounted into it where it's got like a V-shaped head in
Yeah.
the front. So the barrel sits in there, or the end of the crossbow or whatnot, and then it's got a padded locking mechanism in the back for the stock.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then either the occupant with fingers can pull the trigger and shoot, or you got somebody that's quadriplegic. It has either a bite trigger or a sip and puff pneumatic trigger system to
Yeah, that's
fire.
awesome.
So basically, you're now turning the Action Trackchair or whatever Trackchair into a tank.
Man, that's incredible.
So I still have this, and I want this to be done. I don't care if I'm involved or not. And I would say, if he does it, which this is my hopes and dreams scenario here. Brandon Herrera's AK-50,
Oh yeah,
and
that'd be
put
awesome.
an injured service member, whether it be you, somebody else, you know what I mean, have a
Yeah,
raffle for it or whatnot, where a guy gets to go in there and he gets to fire the AK-50,
that's awesome.
and then have the proceeds from that YouTube video go to various or certain veteran nonprofits that get veterans out into the woods.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's my goal. That's my thought on the thing. We obviously don't know what's going to happen with that. Probably nothing, but
You never know.
hey, that
All it
would
takes is an
be,
idea.
yeah. I mean, that right there is like you're having a guy that literally used to do this now gets to do it again,
Yeah,
and he gets to feel like a tanky.
that's awesome.
Fired. Yep. Just sipping on the trigger, sipping on it, and just firing round after round after round. You see the Trackchair shake from the AK-50 just going
That's
off.
wild. Yeah,
Have you
turning into a real tank.
have you seen that gun?
Unreal.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine putting like a specialized 50 cal shell in there where it just like fires fires something of a sabot style round. I don't know if it would be able to take it or whatnot. I'm not gonna I'm not a gunsmith like he is.
Yeah, right.
A gunmaker like him. I'm not trying to say, hey, make this very special round for a 50 caliber BMG semi-automatic rifle.
That'd be wild.
But just having one of those rounds already there and it just like blows up a target.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can dream it, they can make it, you know.
Well, I'd hope that's definitely one of the things I'd hope get done.
Crazy.
So, what's in the future? Do you have any? What's the plans for coming seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lined out this year. You know, I really enjoy running dogs, being a dog handler. You know, I qualified my dog Moose. Me and him were the first team to ever qualify for a senior hunting test through AKC out of a wheelchair, you know, and stuff. And I think I'm gonna, you know, he's kind of his days are coming to an end. You know, he can't really hear anymore. His eyesight's getting pretty tough, and his shoulders are kind of wore out. And he's retrieved millions of birds, you know, and it's hard to watch that, but you know, I'm gonna have to replace him soon, so it'd be kind of fun to get back out there and handling and training again, and slowing down in life a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. Definitely. He's going to be okay, Bub, you are going to stay in the truck. You're going to enjoy sitting next to me while the young one goes out and gets the birds, and you
Yeah,
get that special place right by the fire.
yeah. I mean, he's been an incredible dog. You know, he'll go get you a beer out of the fridge. He can do it all. You know, and he's been everywhere with me around the country, and I'm hoping to be able to get him a couple more doves this winter here, and I'm kind of feeling like this one might be it. You know.
Yep. He's definitely earned that spot where you get to take care of him till it's time.
Yeah, he'll always be. He's kind of thing that scares me is I think he's that everybody gets that one dog in a lifetime, you know, and he might have been it for me.
Yeah. Well, I hope that he lasts a few more seasons.
Yeah, I know it would be a miracle, and I would love that. I
How
really
old
do
is he
hope.
now?
Yeah, he's 11 here pretty soon. So,
No
and
kidding.
with all the retrieves he's had, you know, I think that's kind of the main thing, you know, is all the retrieves that he's had, you know, and you know, all the pheasant hunting and running into fences and stepping in holes and you know, crawling out of the sloughs and jumping in and out of boats and you name it, you know.
Wear and tear on the body.
Yeah, it's been hard on him, but
They love it though.
yeah, hey, he wouldn't want it any other way, you know.
Yeah. I know God, it was Daniel Boone. I
Yeah.
was talking with previous guest. This is a while ago. I need to get more historians back on again.
Yeah.
But I was, good Lord. Now I got to look that episode up. That's
Yeah.
how, just going through the motion of looking through episodes and everything. But, Morgan, actually, look up Daniel Boone. Looking up previous guests. Oh, yeah. I was talking with historian Robert Morgan about Daniel Boone.
Oh yeah.
And he was telling me about how Boone, around the time he turned 40, because of his time out in the woods, in the freezing cold, fording rivers, hunting, trapping, running the marathon from Detroit to Boonesboro, Kentucky. All that stuff over his lifetime. When he was 40, he had so much arthritis in his body that he had to be carried when going through rivers.
Yeah. I actually got one of the first deer that I shot after being wounded. It was a beautiful 8-point down in Carrizo Springs on the Mexican border with the Fitzsimmons family ranch down there. And actually my guide's name was Daniel Boone, and he was a descendant of the Daniel Boone lineage, you know.
Nice.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, that's heritage right there,
He
man.
was telling me about, you know, sharing stories about his dad, you know, right there on the Mexican border, you know, moving cattle back and forth, you know, across the border and stuff. Cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, what would be a dream hunt for you? Like that
Mm.
once in a lifetime, all expenses paid.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, really. I just love being out in the woods, hunting, and it doesn't really matter where or what. It's just kind of, I don't really have anything like set in mind. Like I gotta hunt this, or I gotta hunt that. I love to go hunt anything, anywhere, and new adventures and new places and new people and new challenges and everything like that. So, I mean, every hunt to me is a new opportunity, whether it's going and chasing doves in Texas, which is one of my greatest passions, to I love hunting whitetails. Maybe go hunting in Canada for a giant whitetail up there, or
Yeah.
I'd love to go on a wolf hunt. That's something I really want to do, is go try to kill a wolf. I don't know. I just, probably, after being the first double amputee to ever kill a mountain lion, would probably be a leopard, to go kill a leopard is kind of what I'm hoping to do next, my major big hunt,
You've already killed a mountain lion? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Now I really am living vicariously through you. That's all the stuff I want to do.
Yeah, I'm super lucky.
So every state around Indiana has black bear. Indiana doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, super lucky, I'm been able to hunt a lot of really cool places, from the Cape Cod, shooting sea ducks out in the ocean, to shooting deer on the Mexican border, to stag in New Zealand, and everything in between in Africa,
Yeah, that's definitely one place I want to go to.
Everybody should experience Africa. It's unreal. There's so many things to hunt.
Yeah.
It's more affordable than you think, and
Oh,
you get to do a lot of hunting. New Zealand is by far the most beautiful place I've probably ever hunted, but
yeah. I was talking to a coworker, dudes. I don't understand people's fixation with hunting in Africa. Their hatred of it. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a really good time. Food was awesome. The people were great. The views were unreal. It's so many surreal experiences. I'm gonna do what I love to do, and try to do it in the most ethical, positive way, and hopefully lead by example.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the hunting in Africa was recently that Blondie and the lion story.
Yeah.
And how he was hunted legally over there, things that we would do over here. Like he's like, oh, they were baiting him to get off of where he was at. And I'm like, they do that in America too.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a wild place. It's I look forward to going back.
Yeah. Well, do you want to tell everybody how to reach you and where to find you?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're looking to have me come speak to one of your groups, your company, dinner, whatever you got going on, you can reach me at jackzimmermanmn.com, as in Minnesota, or jackzimmermanusa.com. Follow me on Instagram, Jack Zimmerman USA. Find me on Facebook. Looking to buy a copy of my book. It's on my website. And I got a podcast, Strength from Service. If anyone wants to hear my stories, talk to people, bring on, I always say, everyday Americans doing extraordinary things, and that are serving other people and going above and beyond, and sharing their stories of how they continue to serve people every single day and find the strength to do it.
Well, thank you, Jack, for coming on and talking about your life and how you have persevered and, become such a motivation for everybody.
Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it, and thanks for everything you do.
Well, thank you too, sir.
Yeah, I hope everybody has a good luck hunting this year, and go out and make some memories.
Yep, you too, man. Now, remember, stay adaptive.